Let me tell you something right now. You are this close to being rich. Yeah, I said it. You are this close to turning everything around. But here's the kicker. It's not about chasing the money. It's about chasing you. Getting rich is super easy when you stop looking at everybody else, stop trying to keep up, stop waiting for approval, and start focusing on yourself. That's the secret right there. All that energy you're pouring into gossip, comparison, and trying to impress people who don't even matter, redirect it. That same fire, that same drive, that same attention, turn it inward. You've got more power than you realize. But most folks never tap into it because they're too busy looking around instead of looking within. See, the truth is, we live in a world full of distractions. Everybody wants to go viral. Everybody wants to be seen. But what good is attention if you don't even know who you are? What good is clout if you're broke, miserable, and lost? Rich people, real rich people, ain't chasing likes. They're chasing legacy. They're building empires in silence. They're not worried about being seen. They're worried about being paid. And the only way they get there is by locking in on themselves. They read, they study, they show up early, they grind when nobody's watching. You want to get rich? Start doing what nobody else wants to do. Let's be honest, most people don't want to put in that kind of work. They want the rewards, but they don't want the discipline. They want the car, the house, the lifestyle, but they don't want the sacrifice. They don't want to cut off the toxic people. They don't want to turn off the TV. They don't want to be alone with their own thoughts long enough to grow. But guess what? That's the price. Riches come with responsibility. You want millions? Then you better start acting like someone who knows how to handle them. You don't get wealth by accident. You get it by design. And the design starts with you. Your mindset is either your greatest weapon or your biggest weakness. If you walk around every day talking about, I can't, it's too hard, that ain't for people like me, guess what? You just wrote your destiny. You already said no before the world had a chance to say yes. But when you flip the switch and start saying, why not me? That's when everything changes. Rich people don't ask for permission. They decide, they move, they believe in themselves when nobody else does. And they don't care who doubts them because they already made up their mind. And stop waiting for support. You keep waiting for your friends to clap for you, your family to believe in you, your co-workers to see your vision. Let me break it to you. They're not supposed to see it. It's your vision, not theirs. Stop begging people to believe in something that was placed in your heart. If you keep waiting for everybody else to get on board, you'll miss your train. Some of the richest people in the world were doubted the most. They were laughed at, talked about, rejected, and still kept going. You know why? Because they focused on themselves. They believed they had something valuable, and they weren't about to let anyone stop them from unwrapping their gift. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be comfortable. Focusing on yourself means confronting some hard truths. It means cutting off distractions, walking away from drama, saying no to good things so you can make room for great things. It means being misunderstood. It means grinding in silence while everyone else is partying. But that's the process. Because riches don't show up in chaos. Riches come where there's order. And order starts when you get serious about you. Let me say this loud and clear. You can't get rich trying to please everybody. You can't grow trying to fit in. You can't evolve if you're too afraid to stand out. Rich people aren't worried about being liked. They're focused on being effective. Stop shrinking yourself to make other people comfortable. Stop playing small so your friends don't feel insecure. That's not your job. Your job is to become everything you were born to be. Your job is to level up so high you make them question why they stayed behind. The truth is, some people in your life only love the version of you that stays stuck. The minute you start to grow, they get quiet, and that's your sign it's time to move on. You're not here to stay in the same place year after year. You're not here to repeat the same day 365 times and call it a life. You were born to expand, and expansion requires focus. You have to make a decision. Are you going to spend your life entertaining people, or are you going to spend your life elevating? One gets applause, the other gets results. You can't have both. If you want to get rich, you've got to stop chasing moments and start building momentum. Moments are for clout. Momentum is for wealth. That's how you build an unshakable foundation. Now, let's talk about consistency, because this is where most people drop the ball. They start something, get excited, then quit when it doesn't blow up in a week. That's not how success works. Rich people are consistent even when they're not motivated. They don't wait to feel like it. They've trained themselves to show up regardless. Motivation is temporary, but discipline, that's a superpower. And discipline is built in the dark. It's built when nobody's watching. It's built when you choose to work instead of scroll, grind instead of gossip, build instead of complain. That's when real wealth starts to grow. Stop expecting results from work you haven't done. That's the truth right there. A lot of people want rich results on lazy habits. It doesn't work like that. The seeds you plant today determine your harvest tomorrow. If you keep planting excuses, you'll keep growing failure. But if you plant discipline, focus, and effort, you'll start to reap success. That's just how the game works. You don't need luck. You need preparation. You don't need a handout. You need hunger. Stop waiting for somebody to come save you. Save yourself. That's the richest move you can make. Let's be real. Life is going to test you. There will be setbacks, failures, and people who doubt you. That's part of the journey. But don't let that stop you. Every struggle is a setup for strength. Every no is one step closer to the right yes. You've got to learn how to take rejection like a boss. Learn how to fail forward. Rich people don't crumble when it gets hard. They double down. They say, all right, that didn't work. Let me pivot. They don't cry about it. They correct it. If you want wealth, you got to stop reacting emotionally and start responding strategically. That's the shift. You know what else rich people do? They invest in themselves. They don't think twice about buying books, taking courses, hiring mentors, surrounding themselves with winners, because they understand the return on that investment is unlimited. You'll spend $300, 0 cents on shoes, but won't spend $30, 0 cents on a book. That's why you're stuck. You'll go out to eat every weekend, but won't put $100, 0 cents into your dream. That's why nothing's changed. Rich people prioritize growth. They put their money where their goals are. You want to see your bank account grow? Then grow you first. You've got to stop living like you've got time. That's one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves. I'll start tomorrow. I've got time. I'll wait for the right moment. No, you don't. The clock is ticking. Every second you waste is a second you could be building, learning, growing, winning. Rich people don't wait. They start. They move while others hesitate. They leap while others doubt. You can't keep living in delay and expect destiny to show up. Procrastination is the graveyard of potential. You don't get rich by waiting. You get rich by working right now. And don't get it twisted. Getting rich is not just about money. It's about freedom. It's about options. It's about waking up every day and deciding how you want to live, not being told how to live. That's real wealth. Real wealth is peace of mind. It's knowing your bills are paid and your kids are straight. It's being able to walk away from anything that doesn't serve you. But you can't get that kind of wealth chasing comfort. You get it by putting in the uncomfortable work. Late nights, early mornings, hard conversations, lonely seasons. It all adds up. And let's talk about environment, because you can't grow in toxic soil. Some of y'all are trying to become millionaires while hanging with people who hate ambition. You're trying to elevate while surrounded by folks who think success is a scam. That's not going to work. Your circle matters. If you're the smartest one in the room, rich people understand this. They don't keep people around just because they're comfortable. They keep people around because they challenge them. They sharpen each other. Iron sharpens iron. Mediocrity just dulls your blade. You need to start protecting your energy like it's gold, because it is. You don't have time to be explaining your dream to people who don't even believe in themselves. You don't have time to be hanging with folks who laugh at your goals but never have any of their own. Protect your vision. Guard your focus. Your energy is your currency, and if you keep spending it on nonsense, you'll stay broke, not just financially, but mentally and emotionally. Wealth starts with how you think, how you move, and what you allow. You also need to get real about your habits. What are you doing every day that's moving you forward? What are you doing every day that's holding you back? Rich people audit their lives constantly. They don't coast through the day, they command it. They've got routines, they've got structure. They don't waste their mornings scrolling social media or sleeping till noon. They wake up with intention because they know every day is another chance to get closer to the life they want. You want to know what separates the rich from the rest? Discipline, consistency, focus, not talent, not luck, just relentless execution. Let me say this too. Stop being afraid of being seen starting small. Everybody wants to shine, but nobody wants to struggle. Newsflash, struggle is part of the shine. Every big win starts with small steps. Don't let your ego rob you of your elevation. You might have to sell your product out of your trunk. You might have to post videos that only get 2 views. You might have to work a side job while you build your dream. That's okay. Rich people don't care how it looks. They care how it pays. You're not here to impress people. You're here to create impact. Now, let's talk about excuses. Because if you're still broke, it's not because you're unlucky, it's because you're still married to your excuses. I don't have time. I don't have the right connections. I wasn't raised that way. Listen, every successful person you see was once a regular person, with problems, with pain, with past they had to overcome. The difference is they made a decision that they weren't going to let excuses be louder than their dreams. They used their disadvantages as fuel. So you can either keep making excuses or you can make progress, but you can't do both. The realest thing I can tell you, you already have everything you need to start. You don't need more followers. You don't need more validation. You don't even need more money. What you need is clarity and commitment. Get clear on what you want and commit to becoming the kind of person who can handle it. Riches follow responsibility. The universe is not going to hand you wealth if you can't even keep your word to yourself. You said you were going to start that business. What happened? You said you were going to wake up early, still hitting snooze. You said you were going to get serious this year, still making excuses. Stop talking, start doing. You've got to learn how to manage your emotions like a boss, because money doesn't flow to messy minds. If you're always triggered, always reacting, always emotional, you can't lead. And wealth requires leadership, not just of others, but of yourself. You've got to lead your day, lead your thoughts, lead your actions, discipline your emotions or they'll bankrupt you. Every successful person has had to master the art of staying calm in chaos. That's how you make rich decisions, by not letting temporary feelings destroy permanent progress. You also need to stop looking for shortcuts. That's what's keeping most people poor, the desire for easy. Let me be clear, getting rich is simple, but it's not easy. There's a difference. The formula is straightforward: focus, discipline, consistency. But the process, that takes work, that takes patience, that takes grit. You can't microwave success, you can't skip steps. And every time you try to hack the system, you end up back at zero. Rich people play the long game. They don't get distracted by quick wins. They build foundations that last. And listen, if you failed before, good. That means you tried. That means you stepped out of the crowd. Failure is not the enemy. Staying stuck is. Rich people aren't afraid to fail. They're afraid to stay the same. Every L they take becomes a lesson. Every door that closes just pushes them to kick down a better one. You've got to stop being scared of the process. You can't have progress without some pain. The struggles you're avoiding are the same ones that will teach you what wealth really takes. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. That's where the growth lives. You also need to stop measuring yourself by somebody else's timeline. Just because they hit 6 figures by 25 doesn't mean you're behind. Just because they bought a house, got married, launched a business, it doesn't mean you're failing. You're not late. You're in training. Stay in your lane. Focus on your race. Wealth doesn't come to the fastest. It comes to the most consistent. You've got to stop rushing and start building. This isn't a sprint. It's a legacy move, and legacies take time. So now you know. Getting rich is super easy, but only if you're ready to get real with yourself. Only if you're ready to focus on you, not on them, not on what they said, not on what they have. You, because that's where the gold is, inside you. The discipline, the ideas, the potential, the hunger, it's all there. But it stays locked up when you waste your time comparing, complaining, and waiting for permission. You don't need a miracle. You don't need a millionaire friend. You don't need a perfect past. You need commitment. You need courage. You need clarity. And above all, you need you. Let everybody else play small. Let them sit around blaming the world. Let them talk, scroll, wish, and wait. But you've got work to do. You've got wealth to build. You've got a legacy to create. This is your time. This is your turn. This is your moment to flip the switch and say, enough is enough. I'm done playing broke. I'm done dimming my light. I'm done sleeping on my potential. I'm about to get rich, and I'm doing it by locking in on me. So wake up earlier, cut off distractions, elevate your circle, upgrade your mindset, build discipline, build focus, build you. Because the moment you do that, the money follows, the opportunities come, the doors swing wide open, because money doesn't chase people who are confused. It chases people who are clear. You want to get rich? Then stop playing, stop pausing, stop explaining. Lock in, look in the mirror and say, this is the person who's going to change everything. Then prove it every single day. The dream is real, the grind is necessary, and the reward is freedom, power, peace, legacy. Not just for you, but for everybody coming after you, your kids, your family, your name. This ain't just about money, it's about what your money will do. So go get it, go take it. The world is yours, but only if you're willing to focus on the one thing that unlocks everything else, yourself. Now go be rich, go be unstoppable, and never, ever apologize for becoming everything they said you couldn't be.